And that is right. We're getting me twice today. Aren't you guys lucky? Third time this week, fourth time tomorrow for No Mercy, predictions, watch along, all of that. But I am, of course, the man himself. I am pure excellence. I am Ricky Goldman. This is the 31st time, the Reigning Rock podcast. Do like and subscribe, get this shared, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax. And I'm not here alone. TJ still can't join us. 2 weeks ago, he was under the weather. I think this week he's at the Festival of Friendship, rocking it up with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. But I'm not here alone. Let's bring him in, my tag team partner. Tag him in. I'm reaching for the hot tag.
Yeah. Ching, ching, bling, bling is always money over here. Mark Dollar.
Just give me 1 second. Am I back gate closed? I think it is. My dog's just gone out, and I don't want it running away. Sorry about that, but yes, Mark the man himself, Mark Dollar, the man himself. So how are you this week? Been just over a week, hasn't it? We did early last Saturday.
Yeah. So I'm doing good, man. Just excited to be on the program once again today, and excited to talk about wrestling from this past week.
And as we do, well, you'll be doing No Mercy predictions later. Obviously, TJ's not here, so it's just me and you vying for that championship that you could win right after No Mercy, because that is the only WWE pay-per-view. So that's tomorrow night. But let's get into number one segment here, and that is this right here. And that is, you want to and
what's
take
cooking
it away,
at the table?
That is right. So, have you been busy with your basketball, your skateboarding, also getting ready to go to work? What else have you been up to since last week?
I'm actually back at work now. So this week was the first week of teaching kids again. It was good. It's good getting back into the saddle. It's always refreshing to see the kids and be excited for them in the upcoming school year. So just mostly getting back into my work schedule, and no more playing basketball as frequent as I was. No more skateboarding as frequent as I was. Back in the saddle. So let's get it.
Are you part of a basketball team or just?
No, I just be playing, and if I see people out there playing and they want me to play, we playing.
Is it not very warm and very hot in Philadelphia?
Oh, it's still hot. It's still the fuck hot out here. It's still kind of hot, man. So, like today, it's 83 degrees right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still summertime, dude.
Well, yeah.
Still summertime.
You played a good summer over in America, over there in Philadelphia. We had like 2 days of summer.
Y'all also think hot is like 80s.
We don't get good weather, so and when we do, people rush out and suntan lotion on and let's drink, which dehydrates you. And anyway, so I've been going to the gym trying to get big like The Rock and not succeeding. I did make my crafting my own CM Punk bracelet. I've got it, not Drew McIntyre. But CM Punk's got it back. We'll discuss that later. And All Out card, All Out next Sunday. I'll be watching, but we'll get to All In later on here in a little bit, but it is coming to the point that AEW does go pay-per-views, it just afterwards they spoil it, they ruin it, and just things like Michael Cole, wrong company. Tony Khan, he wants wrestling to be a sport, getting all upset because the FTW title, people said, oh, it's a joke title, isn't it? And he got all upset and stole Hook's time, and just the momentum they build is just ruined instantly. Anyway, so on to the next thing here, which is what have we been watching? And it is this. So lights, camera, action goes all the way from Hollywood. It is movie talk. So I've watched Truth or Dare, decent movie. Pray for the Devil, decent horror, and Clex Academy on Netflix. That's a bit like Harry Potter mixed with. Okay, Snow White was in it, and Alice in Wonderland was in it, so it's just like a futuristic world, and yeah, decent movie. Have you been watching anything? Have you been watching any movies, TV programs other than wrestling or documentaries?
No. So in America, college football has began again. So I mean, even right now, there's a college football game on right now on my TV as we speak. So if anything, that's what I've been looking forward to and watching. Outside of watching wrestling, I've been watching college football.
I know very little about college football, but what team do you? I'm guessing Philadelphia you support.
I mean, I just like watching college football. That's my thing. Like, I love college football. It's something that when I was in college, it was something I did every Saturday. We would go. I would go to the game and enjoy myself. Watch some of my classmates who were on the football team play. So that was pretty cool. And it's just it's just a part of like my Saturday routine to sit down and watch college football. And this week is the first week of it, so it's pretty cool. I mean, some of our favorite WWE superstars are former college football players.
Bron Breakker, was he?
Bron Breakker, he played at Kennesaw State. The Rock played at the University of Miami. Roman Reigns played at Georgia Tech. So there's football, college football especially, goes well with wrestling.
And Goldberg
played at the University of Georgia.
Ron Simmons played.
Played at Florida State.
Brock Lesnar gave it a try for that long.
Well, Brock Lesnar tried professional football. He was but in college he was a wrestler.
Was he any good at football or?
No, because he got cut.
He's an incredible athlete, so I thought he would have done well, but I guess not.
Football's not as easy as people think it is. I'll tell you that. But
isn't there other men on the pitch? Oh, sorry, field. You call it field. Okay, pitch in soccer and football. Football over here, soccer, you would call it soccer. Mm-hmm. So on the field, is there no other men to like go and do other stuff and you can just sit there and rest or not?
I mean, yeah, but like it's so in football there's a certain amount of spots that you can have on the roster. And if you have people that are better than another person, you cut them. And Brock Lesnar just wasn't as good at professional football as he thought. So he got cut.
And I remember Gronk, who does the Gronkowski play for
Gronkowski. He played professional football. He also played college football, which led to him playing professional football. He went to the University of Arizona, so.
Do you remember the spot at WrestleMania? When
the stage dive thing?
No, security wasn't letting him over the.
Oh yeah.
And then somebody said, "Yeah, he can come over. He's part of the show." That was funny. But I'll quickly play one ad, and then we'll get into plenty of wrestling talk, starting with All In. Yay!
You do that.
But yeah,
you sound so excited.
I like the pay-per-views, but it's just I'll play this and I'll get into the very quick problems of AEW. But anyway, let me play this. So. So Pro Wrestling Tees, Goldman's won. That again, Goldman's won. If you cannot purchase your t-shirt, get it shared. I'm at all my socials on screen right now. But let's get to... And Sam, are you ready? I believe he is. He's going to take it away. So take it away, Sam, in 3, 2, 1.
It is now time for Wrestling.
That's right, folks. It's time for Wrestling Roundup.
So I will very quickly start with All In. Obviously, you don't watch it, but I'll get your thoughts maybe on the other matches like Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, perhaps. Very quickly, many problems with AEW. One of the main problems is burnout. So it was 3 matches on the kickoff show, pre-show, call it what you like. The AEW called it the 0 hour. So you burnt out before the pay-per-views even began. So it's like, oh, okay, another match. But so let's start with the 0 hour. First match was a whole clusterfuck. It was just all thrown together. It's going to take me more time to actually say the people than it is to give my thoughts on the match. But you had Tommy Billington, Rocky Romero, Carl Fletcher, Leo Rush and Top Flight defeat Jay Lethal, Satman Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Private Party, and a lot of other people. Clusterfuck. Okay, they were on the show. Tommy Billington from the UK, so that's cool, but losing my papers here. There we are. What was the other match? So you had.
Come on, make sure your notes are all together.
Right, so Tomohiro Ishii and Will Nightingale defeated Stokely Hathaway, Chris Statlander. I would have had the other team win. Chris Statlander can now pick the stipulation, which he has. It's a street fight match next week at All Out. Would it not have made sense for Statlander to win this and she picks the stipulation? Who thinks that the champion has picked the stipulation, then they're going to lose? And your other match on the 0 hour, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, the Von Erichs, and Shia Bata went over Undisputed Kingdom and Gates of Agony. Okay, another cluster fucking okay, cool. Into the main card, Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, you trios champions. I'm happy with that. Pac from the UK. I would have had so they took the towels off, the patriarchy. I would have had the patriarchy retain because what happened later on. Cool that Pac won. He's like had a decent push in AEW, but yeah, again a mess of a match. Mariah May, Toni Storm, that went on second, so not even your semi-main event. Again, Mariah May from the UK, new women's champion, massive win for her. But will they do anything with this? Probably not. Are you familiar with Mariah May and your thoughts of Toni Storm losing?
I'm kind of familiar with her. I mean, she was the girl that was always alongside Tony Storm, right?
Yeah.
So, I feel like from what I saw from Instagram, so I've only seen it All In from Instagram clips, and I will say from what I saw, it's a good one for Mariah. It's a really good one for her. You know, it gives her a big leg up, and it kind of I don't know if they're going to keep going with the storyline, but like it's a good way of closing it out for sure. You know, because the closing part that got Mariah to win was Tony was going to hit her with the shoe, the heel of the shoe, and she changed her mind about it because she remembered how close of a connection her and Mariah had, and all this and the third, some of the wrestling, some of the things, the dramatics of wrestling, and she couldn't do it, and Mariah made her pay for it by doing what she did and getting the dub.
I don't know. You've probably seen very little of Toni Storm's work in AEW, but her character work is good. She's very like a timeless wrestler. Going back to the days of this person constantly gets a mention on commentary, but Mildred Burke, if you know, that is obviously a very old-time wrestler, but people obviously like that, and she takes it very slow, and it's very old-school wrestling and old-time wrestling. So she reinvented herself, and she's had a good character push in AEW, but
I definitely love the timeless Toni Storm stuff. You know what I mean? Because like it's different. It's not a usual thing to see someone revert back to like the olden days of wrestling and all that. So I do like the character work of timeless Toni Storm.
And if you remember Toni Storm, oh God, Toni Storm in WWE, and she got, was it a custard pie or something?
Yeah,
Charlotte, like that's what they did with her on the main roster.
She knew she has had a better push in AEW than she's had on the main roster of WWE. That's for sure.
Definitely, like I said, a massive win for Mariah, but knowing AEW, they'll do nothing with this. Hey, moving along, Hook took the title off Chris Jericho, the FTW title. Again, a mess. Big win for Hook. It really needs to get away from the FTW title. It's a title that means nothing for those that watch. I didn't watch the press. What does AEW call it? Media scrum. So I didn't watch the media scrum, but I did watch the clip of other reporters saying, well, isn't the FTW title like an insult title? Isn't it a joke? And then with Tony Khan there and like taking Hook's time and saying it's not a joke title, even though it was. If you and you may know this, Marcus, do you know the history of the FTW title?
I do actually. So, for those of you that are watching that's like, first of all, what the hell is the FTW title? Where did it come from? So the FTW title was created by Taz, obviously, and ECW, a promotion that is fine to my heart because it got started in the city of brotherly love, my hometown, Philadelphia. So Taz created the FTW title. For those of you that don't know what FTW stands for, is fuck the world. So the fuck the world title, FTW title, was created because the world champion was nowhere to be found. He was injured, I think. I believe the champion was Shane Douglas. So Shane Douglas was the ECW champion at the time. And he wasn't trying to give Taz the time of day to face him. Even though Taz was ripping it up, tearing it up in ECW. I mean, he was tearing it up so bad in ECW. I hated Taz when I was a kid. I couldn't stand that motherfucking short suplex machine ass motherfucker. But that dude kills it. He killed it. Crazy. So he created the title because he couldn't find Shane Douglas was just trying to give him the time of day. Shane Douglas was either injured or he was just ducking him, which was played into what happened later when Shane Douglas gave Taz the time of day. Finally, he lost to him. And the FTW title was an unrecognized title. Once again, people, it's unrecognized. It was not a real title in ECW, right?
And
It was an unrecognized championship because the champion wasn't trying to give him the time of day. So the FTW title became relevant. It got defended a couple times. Sabu won it, which was weird, but it's not a relevant title to the. It's not supposed to be a relevant title to the promotion. That's what it's supposed to be.
And it's the same in AEW. It's not a legit title, so it is a joke insult title. But Tony Khan getting so offended, like, no, whatever. And apparently, I read on Facebook that this and another match we'll get to here soon, toilet break match. Chris Jericho, one of the greatest of all time. People now don't want to see his match. Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving along, the Young Bucks, of course, I keep forgetting that they run things. Tony Khan thinks he runs things. It's the Young Bucks actually running things. Of course, he had to put themselves over in Wembley to keep the titles against FTR, they claimed. Yeah, decent match. And then UK's own GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans, came in. If they go to the titles and the Young Bucks put them over, great. Maybe they will. All Out's a smaller pay-per-view than All In. But no shock. I thought Acclaim would have took the titles, but it's the Young Bucks. So of course they won. You want any thoughts on that?
I'm not a big fan of the Young Bucks, to be honest with you. I don't like their gimmick is you know, it's like it feels like Shane McMahon 2.0 type of shit. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I'd rather have seen either the Acclaimed or FTR won it, of course, but I guess that's cool. I guess that's cool.
But the Young Bucks run things. They're the VPs. So of course they're going to go over. Which I forgot. I thought, oh, that's why they went over. Of course they're not losing at their biggest pay-per-view. On to the next match, which I thought was a casino battle royal, but it was a gauntlet match. So, which became clear when they announced it on the show. Was like, wasn't this meant to be a battle royal? But you had a few debuts. Okay, you had Nigel McGuinness from Ring of Honor. The last time he wrestled was Ring of Honor many, 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 many years ago. But Nigel McGuinness wrestled. Okay, I love that from the UK. Nigel McGuinness wrestled. That was cool. He did want to take on Brian Johnson this year at All In. Obviously, that didn't happen. You had Zack Sabre Jr. In this match, and of course, Mr. Flippy himself, Ricochet. Cool. Well, okay, I'll get to what they could have done with Ricochet soon here, but your thoughts on the debut of Ricochet and Nigel McGuinness, if you've got any.
Nigel McGuinness, I guess so. Listen, I don't really have much to say about Nigel McGuinness, to be honest with you. As far as Ricochet debuting that day, I mean, good. He gets to debut that day. He gets to keep the name Ricochet. I'm glad Ricochet has a home. That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy that Ricochet can still do his craft somewhere versus not being able to do his craft anywhere or having to go back to the indie scene.
True.
So,
yeah.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he has a contract. That's what I'm happy.
Baron Start. I can't even pronounce his name. You might have to help me with this. Aaron. What? Baron Corbin goes to TNA. There we go. Baron Corbin goes to TNA. Why? He's getting a. What would they do? No. How there? He's not being released by WWE, so.
He might be going there for, you know.
Oh, okay. Then I know what he's saying. So, yeah, okay, because WWE and AEW, not AEW, WWE and TNA are doing a partnership. Okay, then. So now I get what he's saying. Yeah, why not? I suppose, yeah. What they do with him on the main roster, I suppose, yeah. Okay, not a bad shout at all there. And Aaron, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. we'll get, and he said that twice. Okay, just to make sure that I read it. We'll get on to Baron coming here and we'll cover SmackDown. But yeah, you could have Baron, heel Baron, go after Dolph, maybe. If they did that, would you like that, Marcus?
I mean, he's a babyface, so it's like
they could turn him heel just for that one match.
No, that'd be dumb. That would make sense to what he's portraying in WWE. You got to keep it consistent.
Okay, then. Yeah. So the next match in a 20, I think it was over nearly 26-minute match. And again, you say, why don't I like AEW? This right here, a 26-minute match. Will Ospreay, your brand new, now international champion, taking the title off MJF. That's where Ricochet should have debuted. Lights go out. Ricochet debuts. It's Ricochet, Will Ospreay at All Out for the title. Oh, no. Sorry, no. I'm jumping ahead here. Gauntlet match. So, okay, Christian won. So he's not facing Daniel Bryan. I'm kind of spoiling if people that didn't watch it and don't know who won the main event. I'm spoiling it here for you. But he's not facing Daniel Bryan at All Out. So why couldn't he have just kept the trios titles? So then he looks more of a threat when he takes on Daniel Bryan because he's a champion. Anyway, your thoughts on Christian winning the Gauntlet match?
No thoughts. It's cool. That's what's up. Shout out to Christian.
So Will Ospreay, taking the title off MJF. Ricochet should debut there. You do Ricochet. Maybe even a triple threat. And then Ospreay pins MJF, keeping Ricochet looking strong. Maybe do that. They're not doing that because it's Will Ospreay versus Pac. That the Pac's not winning that. It'd be a good match. It'd be a flippy match, but so your thoughts on MJF? If you've got any taking the back the international title?
Probably not. Probably not taking that title back. Probably at some point in time going after the AEW World Championship again. But I personally believe that match with them two deserve that much time. That match deserves that much time because they're both really good in the ring. So it deserved that 26-minute time frame. I know you don't like it per se, but I think it deserves that time frame because all the hype that got built up for the match and everything, it allows all that to be blown off. And like I said, they're both very good in the ring.
I'll give my thoughts. Follow up in a second. I'll read this first. Lone Wolf. I thought it was Thomas Peacock, his real name. Anyway, to TNA. It's not Pestock, is it? It's Peacock, his real name. Yes, they deserve nearly half an hour, but that's how you burn out the crowd because you've just seen a 30-minute match. It's like, now it's rest. But no, they either play very little video package or no video package and straight into the next match. It's like, oh God, where's the rest time?
Yeah, that part. Yeah, I do agree. They gotta book their the way they book is very interesting. There's no match in between those two long matches. Like there should have been some type of match or some type of video package or something to be played before they got into the next match. You feel what I'm saying? So
yeah,
rather than do that happen. Also, I don't think it would be good if it became a triple threat match. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Ricochet, he's coming in from WWE, right? That wouldn't really do nothing for the match. Like, I get it, it's Ricochet debuting, but let him debut in a title match. That's real garbage. That's actually garbage. Because for what reason has he earned that match?
Ethan Page debuted in a title match?
No, he didn't. He debuted before the title match.
Okay, in-ring debut, I meant.
Okay, in-ring, that's still different. Ricochet's debut was his in-ring debut at AEW. That's different.
Not how I would have booked it, but this is the but. If AEW did my booking, they'd actually maybe be competition for WWE, but probably still not. Anyway, another toilet break for the fans was Mercedes Moné in a really boring match against Britt Baker. She retains. Big win for Mercedes or Sasha Banks. She never won at Mania. I know she main evented Mania 37 night 1, but she didn't win. So this is a big win for Mercedes, but nobody cared. Your thoughts, if you've got any?
The crowd was burnt out. That's why they didn't care. I think because when you say the competitors' names, it should have been a lot better, right? The crowd was burnt out though, because when we think about Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker, let's think about those two competitors just in general, right? They're both really good at what they do. Despite me not watching AEW that much, I still know the name of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I still know that lady. She was a fantastic AEW women's champion. And we're talking about Mercedes Moné, who absolutely always killed it in WWE, who's been doing, for what I know, a pretty damn good job in AEW. But the crowd was burnt out. That's why they really didn't give a damn about the match, which is sad because both of those women are highly talented.
Okay. Thomas Peacock. I'm sure Baron Corbin's real name is Tom Peacock. And John Layfield reunited TNA. Oh yeah, remember that gimmick in WWE? Like JBL hated being with him, like because he's.
That was terrible. Mind you, I love JBL, but that was a shit gimmick.
And we've kind of forgot something here. Speaking of Britt Baker, there was a return, and people hate this because it was a return on the pre-show. Surely you would do it on the main show. Paige and Harley Cameron in the ring, and the return of Jamie Hayter on the pre-show. Okay. I know you're a big fan of Jamie Hayter, so take it away.
I love Jamie Hayter. That's my girl. I love her theme song too. That's my jam. I fucks with her. She's good. She good money to me. On the pre-show though, like that's shitty. Have her come back on the main show. That would have been cooler. But you get in where you fit in, I guess. Make it make sense for as far as like storyline, booking, whatever it is. But I'm happy to see Miss Hayter back.
Apparently, in real life, Jamie and Britt have real life issues, so maybe that's why. Maybe Britt hasn't arrived yet, and they knew, okay, put Jamie on the pre-show and do that. But again, he was on the pre-show while the stadium was filling up.
Right.
And
she should have got bigger pop than that.
If I went to AEW and I paid for a ticket and Jamie Hayter returned and I missed it, I'd be like, well, thanks.
Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off.
Speaking of returns, we did have a return after this match from Sting. I can't do it, Tony Schiavone, but Hall of Famer Sting. Jack Perry defeated Darby Allin in a coffin match. Just a mess. Whoopee. And now Jack Perry goes after Daniel Bryan at All Out next weekend. Any thoughts on Sting's return?
It's Sting!
Here we go.
Tell Sting to sit the fuck down.
It is cool to see him though, now and again. He doesn't have to wrestle if he. Yeah,
I don't want Sting taking no more fucking bumps. No more.
Yeah, he's
No
probably
more.
not doing. Well, people are saying, should he not wrestle again? But no, he's 60. Is he not 62? Is he not the same age as Undertaker? Or is he just maybe a few years older, I think? And in your main event, title versus career in another 26-minute match, after 4 months, Swerve Strickland lost. Ugh. Bryan Danielson, your brand new AEW champion. Great, yeah, okay, good match. The fans loved it. And like I said, you now got the Jack and okay, on Dynamite, Bryan said the next match I lose, kind of like a Ric Flair. That's it. I'll be done. Once I lose the title, I'm finished. Yeah, Jack Perry's not beating him, but okay. So, and before I get your thoughts, still CM Punk in Tony Khan's mind because All Out is in Chicago. So Jack Perry's going to feed off the Chicago crowd because of CM Punk. Hi, move on. It's been a year. Time to move on. Anyway, your thoughts on the new champion?
Before I get to that, please understand that when you book, when promotions are booking something, it's like maybe a year or so or more in advance. And Chicago isn't just a CM Punk town. I want you to understand that, right? So them having All Out in Chicago isn't because CM Punk is on the brain. It's more so that's the venue they got. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted it to be in Chicago, right? There's no predicting. And honestly, they shouldn't change it last minute just for whatever sake. Like, listen, we got it in Chicago. Fuck it, we here in Chicago with it. And Jack Perry, yeah, he's gonna get the crowd's boos. He's gonna get the Dominic Mysterio fucking treatment that day. Now, as far as the championship match goes, once again, a match that definitely deserves that time frame, if not more, to be honest with you, because both Swerve and Bryan Danielson, well, how the fuck his name is, the American Dragon.
Yes.
They both can go they could do a fucking Iron Man match for real. They could do an hour-long match for real. Because they're both very high quality professional wrestlers. I don't know about AEW having a part-time champion. It's weird. I don't like that fact because AEW isn't the kind of promotion that can have that. In my opinion, they need someone that's always going to be there versus someone that is kind of not there. And no offense to the American Dragon, but he's not must see compared to like someone like Brock Lesnar. When Roman Reigns would show up occasionally to SmackDown, right? He's not on that level, and this is no disrespect to Daniel Bryan. I'm calling him that. It's no disrespect to Daniel Bryan, right? It's no disrespect to him at all because honestly, to be real with you, he has a work rate that is better than Roman and Brock, but he's not must see TV in that same sense. So it's like, oh, cool, but like, no, it's not cool at all.
Yeah, just because it's an AEW and I take a dislike many times to AEW, he puts on a good match. So, but I also, for those that watch Jim Cornette, he says this all the time. How can we go away? If you don't go away, how can we miss you? So if Daniel Bryan is going away for a little, he's not going away. He's still there. It's just the pay-per-view. So does it not make the pay-per-views a little bit more must-see because you've seen the champion on pay-per-view rather than a random Dynamite? I think it's a little bit too late. Like you're doing good business too late. AEW's already in the dumps. AEW's already right. And now you're trying to look. If Tony Khan wants to, he's trying to build it up again. Okay, great, fine. I'll just leave it at that. But It's not going to make me want to watch Dynamite every week because Daniel Bryan's the champion. So, but rating, I'll say strong silver plus. Speaking of AEW, I'll quickly go over the rest of the shows. So, obviously, Collision hasn't happened yet. That's later. Dynamite, Hangman and the Page defeated Ishii. Jimmy Hater back to winning ways. She knocked off Harley Cameron. Have you got any thoughts on that? Jimmy Hater back to on the winning side.
Good job, Jamie Hayter.
Hook and the Conglomeration went over Roderick Strong and the Learning Tree. Oi, what a horrible gimmick. Trick got to reinvent himself that many times because he's just not over. And in your main event, Ricochet knocked off Kyle Fletcher. Bronze plus. And on Rampage, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal went over Private Party on the Spirit Kingdom. Missa Kate. Who's that? And I'll do this and I'll tell you another reason why AEW is. Missa Kate lost to Mina Shiraka. Grizzle Your Veterans, yes, doing it for the UK, defeated the Outrunners. Nyla Rose beat Amina Belmont. Who's that? And Takashita went over Commander, the Beast, Mortis, Leo Rush in a fatal four-way. I'll say bronze. So why is AEW? So if you have Jobber, Missa Kate taking on a member of their roster, why would you think, as a viewer, this unknown jobber you've never seen before is going to beat their roster member? And then the roster member beats them, but then you don't know who this person is, so he does nothing for anybody. Okay, they'll get. Okay, these jobs. Indie wrestlers getting a payday. They're in AEW, getting a match. Great, but hey. Anyway, on to Monday Night Raw. The brand of red. Did you make notes? I know TJ's usually the guy for this. He says he's going to make Raw notes. Okay, so Corey Graves is on commentary. So it's Corey Graves and Michael Cole this week. Next week it's Wade Barrett and Joe Testatore. Have I got that name right?
Joe Testatore.
I like Corey and Michael. They're a good team. Your thoughts on that? Do you like Corey and how they work together? Or
I never was a big Corey Graves fan, but I'd rather him be the lead announcer, to be honest with you. So I prefer Graves' work when he works with Wade Barrett on Smacky D's versus him being the color commentator on Raw. You know what I mean? So I prefer him working with Wade versus him working with Michael.
So presume Corey Graves is now being moved to SmackDown. No, Wade Barrett's already on. What show is Wade on? Is he on Raw?
He's on Smacky D's.
Not anymore.
I guess he's getting moved then.
He's getting moved with his Joe guy.
Joe Testatore. Well, I say this. The reason why, and it makes sense to me, Joe Testatore is, he's a sports commentator, right? He does commentary for sports. WWE is a little bit different, so he needs someone that's very experienced and not just talking about, but knows what they're talking about. And Wade Barrett is one of the best commentators that WWE has. So, I like that move.
Yeah, I think sport, unless you're Mauro Ranallo, there was epic calls. When you have sports guys coming in, like Pat McAfee, but Jimmy Smith, was he a UFC guy? He was awful. And then you had Aaron something, very, very unrememberable. I think he lasted 2 weeks because he was just like a little fish in a big pond. He was just dropped. You go and call Raw. Yeah, he had no experience, and he was pretty awful. I know it was during the COVID era when nothing was good. Nothing was good back then. Anyway, Judgment Day kickoff Raw, followed by LWO, leading to a match that Judgment Day knocked off LWO. Dominic pinning Ray. Massive win for Dominic heading into today, but Ray's really become a glorified jobber. Your thoughts?
Good one for the Judgment Day. Judgment Day is the most over entity on Monday Night Raw. Love it. The LWO sadly has become an afterthought. Is to be honest with you, it's actually disrespectful to the LWO originally, because the LWO from the original standpoint, for those of you that don't know the history of the LWO, started off in WCW, and it was led by the late great Eddie Guerrero. And it was one hell of a stable, but I'll tell you this, I'll even say this. The LWO, the reason why they were even formed was because the Latino wrestlers weren't getting their just due. And this is at the time where WCW was ran by fucking stables. So like the NWO, the Four Horsemen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they was just like, yeah, we're going to make this LWO thing. And it's like, the shirts, to be honest with you, the LWO shirts are actually cooler than the NWO shirts. But, the WWE version of the LWO is a piece of shit.
And yeah, like I said, Ray's just putting everybody over. His last big win was, I could say last year's Mania, but ugh.
But he won the US title.
No, he beat Dominic last year.
His biggest win since then, before, I would even say still the US title. And then he lost it to Logan fucking Paul.
Yeah. Women's tag team action saw my favorite tag team. Damage Control got over Pure Fusion Collective. Okay, probably a much needed win for Damage Control here. I was surprised and I was glad, but surprised at the same time. I suppose this is the first loss that the PFC, I'm going to call them PFC, that's what the Tron says.
Team Forehead.
PFC have took a loss since becoming a unit, because it's becoming a faction. Okay, your thoughts on this one?
Damage Control definitely needed the win, I believe. Team Forehead, whatever. They're better. First of all, Shayna and Zoe were good as a tag team. I get having DeVille, is whatever, but like, I don't like she could have just been friends with them and not had to make a stable with them. Like, that's annoying because usually when you have a stable with an odd amount of people, it's either one of two things going to happen. Either they're going to do the Freebird rules, or it's going to be two of them. It's going to be a tag champions and a world champion. Sonya Deville is not world champion material. That's not who she is. Shayna is, to be real with you. Shayna is, but Shayna is more focused on tag team. Go with Zoe. So, fuck that stable. I hate that stable. But I love Damage Control.
I've said many times, if wrestling was real, and again, it's based on suspension of disbelief, Shayna should be a 10,000-time women's champion. She's former MMA. She should be killing the roster, but she goes after the tag team titles. I suppose it's gold in WWE, but anyway, let's move quickly along to Drew McIntyre, Scotland's own. He came out, cut a promo. CM Punk did. I don't even remember this. Also, this was just a hype up. The match they had today.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts? Or no, shall we move on to the next match?
Just move on.
So in triple threat action, yeet with Jey Uso, knocking off Karrion Kross and Kofi Kingston. He now will advance. So it's a season premiere of Raw in 2 weeks, whatever. I don't know, you have a season premiere when Raw doesn't have a season. Whatever. Makes no sense. It's just a Raw special. They're on the Fatal 4-Way, and the winner of that, I presume, goes on to face Braun at Bad Blood. But yes, Jey with a big win here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Look at the crowd reaction. They do nothing with him. So he's just like, is he going to beat Braun? If he wins this Fatal 4-Way, is he going to beat Braun? No. So, yeah, your input on this one, your input on Jey winning.
Yeet. Love it. I love when Jey wins. I love that there's a push forward for him getting closer and closer to championship gold. But you're right. They have done zero with the fan react. This dude has fan reactions out the wazoo, right? He is so over. Jey is so over, bro. And it's crazy that WWE is not doing anything with Jey outside of just having an amazing interest in a great theme song. He literally is the most over person in WWE right now. And they have not done anything with him. And it's insane they have not done nothing with him.
I think Jay's tied with Orton. Like, the fans sing Orton's theme every week, which is incredible. France started something. So, but Jay's, for those that didn't see it, but Rikichi said Jey would do better in AEW. He wouldn't. He'd be jobbing out on Collision or something.
Jey would be a champion in AEW. That's true.
He'd hold one of the many mid-card titles. Woo.
I think he'd be world champion, to be honest with you. I think he'd be world champ.
That's another WWE guy. This is anyway. That's AEW. Speaking of the Viper, Randy Orton came out, got a really good promo heading into today. Again, the fans singing. Orton's one of the best. Really made the fans believe he could get it done. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Who doesn't love Randall Keith Orton? We all love Randall. He's the only person from that 2004 class of OVW who is still full time in the ring. So it's pretty sick to see Randall still getting even better reactions than he did when he first came up. So it's pretty cool.
It was Bronson Reed taking on Brosram, and neither man won. Could this not have been added to Bash at Berlin? Anyway, neither man won. They fought backstage, and a tsunami. We've not got Michael Collier to do it justice, but a tsunami onto a car, taking out. Obviously, that the windows were like press something backstage, and the windows explode. But it still looked good. Yeah. What was your thoughts on this?
Meat on meat. That's what it was. It was a big giant. This was a classic Vince McMahon booking, right? Big meaty men slapping a whole lot of meat together. I loved it. It was funny. It was a good match. Like I said, it was a meat fest. The whole like tsunami. That's my best. That's the best thing I got with that. That's my best version of Michael Cole, tsunami. But it was a tsunami onto the car. The reason why I don't think it should have been that Bash at Berlin, it didn't have enough around it to be a Bash at Berlin match. But good match though.
And he's in a match on Raw. I think it's an Ilya and Dragon Lee. So he's probably winning that. Both Dragon Lee and Ilya have just been lost in the shuffle. Ugh. Yeah. Especially Ilya, immensely talented. I know you didn't watch him in NXT, but he was really good in NXT, and now Nothing.
So here's my thing with Ilya, right? Same thing with Valkyria, right? You're going to get lost in the shuffle. You have to make. So here's the thing: when he first came up after the draft, he got pushed pretty hard. Actually, got pushed pretty hard. Got involved with matches with Mr. Yeet himself. He had matches with Bronson Reed. Had a match with Ricochet. Ilya got pushed, right? But you're going to get lost in the shuffle as some people are climbing the ladder to grab the brass ring. Like Bronson Reed, he's climbing the ladder, right? He's climbing the ladder. He's been on Raw before Ilya was, and there's other things going on too. Ilya's going to get lost in the shuffle just because he's still a brand new face to the main roster. So and he has an incredible work rate. I did see some of his work. I seen the match with Trick Williams that he had, and it was an amazing match. And the matches versus Ricochet, the match versus Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. Ilya can work. That dude is really good in the ring, but you're going to get lost in the shuffle because it's Monday Night Raw.
I'm guessing Peacock is like the network in what matches anytime. Can you do that on Peacock?
Yeah.
If you go back, if you've got time, if you remember, go back and watch Ilya versus Dijak. That was a really good match. I think it was Last Man Standing or something like that, and it was that was a lengthy match, which I didn't mind. But yeah, good match. UK's on Pete Dunne with a much needed win. Triple threat action against The Miz and Xavier Woods. He now advances. If I'm booking, he wins, but I suppose let's wait and see who else is in it. Bronson's probably going to be in it, and I don't know Dominic's probably going to be in it. Oh God. Did they do Dominic versus Braun? Did they do that?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. They're going to have Liv help Dom, and then he's just going to get squashed by Braun. Whatever. Anything to add about Pete Dunne advancing?
Cool. Pete Dunne has a lot on his plate right now. He has a lot on his plate right now, so him advancing is good. It is good for him, though. I like that he's getting a little bit of a push.
And in your main event, Uncle Howdy or Bordellos, whatever, Uncle Howdy making his in-ring debut, knocking off Chad Gable. That's how you close out Raw? Oh, I get it. Okay, it's right, his brother. But you had two people that weren't going to be at the pay-per-view closing out Raw. Okay, so you couldn't have gone with Punk, or you couldn't have gone with Orton, or you couldn't have gone with something else. They went with Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable. Right. Okay. That got me excited for the pay-per-view.
So that's you have to remember that's the third most over feud on Raw, right? So the first most over feud is the Judgment Day with the Terror Twins. Then it's Randy and Gunther. Then it's the Wyatt Six with American Made. So them putting that on for Raw, though, I will say that is a weak ass main event. But it's a main event that at least makes sense. But it is weak as hell. I will admit that's stupid weak. They could have closed Raw with the promo, with the promo from Randy to Gunther. They could have closed it with the McIntyre and CM Punk promo, but as per Raw, they want to end it with a match. And to help put over how big of a deal the White Six is. So I get it.
I don't know. Cool that Bo Dallas and Chad Gable in the main event. Great. The main evented Raw. But, you could have been the only match. I'll give Raw Silver minus. What's your rating for Raw?
Silver.
And on to the Tuesday night show, and that is NXT, leading with the Fatal Influence knocking off Lash legend Corey Jackson. So first of all, your thoughts on the name, and second of all, your thoughts on the win.
The name is cool, I guess. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really like the name, to be honest with you. It's my first time hearing it. I don't know if that name is new, but not a fan of it. The match was good. I did like the match. It seems like the women of Metaphor is going through a bit of a time, but they'll bounce back to their feet.
Fatal Influence is kind of new. J.C. Jane was in Fatal Attraction with, what's it called? Is that called Fatal Attraction? Okay, it is a new name. Is it Toxic Attraction? I mean, very quickly, I think it was Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and J.C. Jane. It was Toxic Attraction. So, okay, yes, it is a new name, but okay. Izzy Dame lost to Carmen Petrovic. Cool. Carmen continuing to get that push. Have you got anything to add here?
Nope. I know who either woman was, so I'm just watching the match.
A match you were a little bit confused with. Who's a heel, who's a face here? The family taking on No Catch Quarter Crew. I did like that Tony D'Angelo went off to deal with business, and Luca Crucifino getting the pin here. I like Luca's push, but Luca and Stacks, they were left to get the win, so he didn't really need Tony in this. Yeah, cool. I know you were quite lost in this match, but
yeah, I was hella lost. Listen, this was my first time ever in my life of watching wrestling that I was ever that damn confused. Like, I was legit in like watching the match. And I'm just like, who are we supposed to be cheering? Who's the baby faces here? Because I didn't really get it. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, all right, the family, it sounds like a heel faction to me. And the first of all, their name is so long and stupid. The No Quarter Catch Crew, bro, that is not catchy at all. It's terrible. It's a bad name. But I wasn't sure if they were heels or baby faces either. So I was just sitting there just watching the match and not understanding the dynamics of the competitors in the ring. So
we've got Ren Sinclair that's funny. She seems to be the face. And then Tony D'Angelo's going after Oba, who's a face. That must make Tony heel. So that must make the family heel. There you go. That's how I work it out.
Okay.
Even though they got a good crowd reaction and the crowd was chanting for them, the family must be heel because Tony D'Angelo's heel. Even though he doesn't act like a heel. Whatever. Sarah Shriver, sit-down interview with Jada Parker. Hypes up there. Jada, Roxanne at No Mercy tomorrow night. Roxanne sits down. Jada slaps her. But the bigger story here, who Jada was talking to behind the camera, I'm going to butcher the name, but from Stardom, Guila. I think that's probably how you pronounce the name, but I think she debuts tomorrow, and that's who she was talking to, is my guess. But any of your thoughts on the interview?
I like the interview. I learned something, once again, me not watching NXT until like this year, literally like 2 months ago. It was when I started watching NXT. Learning that, and I'm going to also make another note while I'm saying this about NXT as a whole. But I learning that Jada Parker played soccer. She was on a soccer scholarship at Louisiana State University, also known as LSU. So she's used to big crowds and stuff. So that's pretty damn cool to know that she made that transition from playing soccer on the collegiate level to becoming to get into NXT, being an NXT superstar. Who, it creates this new dynamic, right? And by the way, the slap was awesome. I love that. I love that she's like not backing down from Roxanne Perez. Now, I will say the note I was going to say is I love how in NXT there's a lot of people that came from a different world that are now into the wrestling world. I love that, right? I love that the WWE has a NIL program that college athletes they can pay college athletes. They paying college athletes. The athletes are still on their scholarship, and they're making money through the WWE. But when they're done with their athletic days, they can then transition to WWE, which I think is so damn cool. Which I know there's probably someone out there, maybe someone that's watching. Please like, share, subscribe, by the way, and comment. Who are more traditional, who are like, no, I want to see more indie stars going to NXT. For me, I'm saying this with the utmost respect. I don't want to see no indie stars going to NXT. They should be going to the main roster. That's just my thought because they have the experience, but they also will be going to NXT because they don't have the WWE experience. But I'd love seeing collegiate athletes transitioning to WWE. To me, it is amazing to see.
Also, smaller crowd in NXT, and the fans will get to. If you bring who, I can't even think of any on the main an indie star out there. God, okay, they know Zack Ryder. Ugh, Jesus, I can't even think of any big, massive name on the indie scene.
Right.
If Zack Ryder came back, they go, okay, that was Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona. So they know him, but let's say they didn't know him and he came in and he debuted on SmackDown. Like, who's that? So then if he debuts on NXT and they build him, there you go.
Right.
Also, this interview piqued my interest. I thought, Jada versus Roxanne. Yeah, that's a TV match. And then when I thought, ooh, who's she talking to? There we go. I piqued my interest. And now I'm interested. Less interested in the match, more interested who's going to make the debut afterwards or on the following NXT. But which I might save it for that because the debut on the CW networks, they probably save it for that. But yeah. Wesley, Zack Ryder. Zachary Wentz had a face-off. They've got it on the match at No Mercy. I know I know that you know very little of Zachary Wentz. He was in NXT under Nash Carter. Both him and Wesley were tag team champions, and then I think he got linked to Nazi stuff. I think that's what it was. Like really controversial stuff, and he got linked to that. Some tweets, and they came up, so they had to take the titles off him straight away. Zach fucked off to TNA and did very little. So, yeah, that's the kind of your history of Zachary Wentz in WWE. But yes, he's part of the Rascals. He's part of MSK. Yeah. Your thoughts of the face-off? Has it piqued your interest in the match?
I mean, yeah, it piqued my interest in the match. I also don't know much about Wesley either, to be honest with you. Once again, that's me not watching NXT for however long NXT been a thing. But it piqued my interest with the hype up for the match. I still don't give a damn about Zach Wentz. I still honestly don't give a damn about Wesley either. But it did its job with hyping up the match, though, for sure.
Do you mean NXT as a brand or NXT as a brand as we know today? The NXT, the brand we know today, who started, I think, Dusty
yeah,
Rhodes.
Yeah, I do remember like the TV show, like the game show NXT, which was a
Awful.
piece of crap. Which was a piece of crap. But back when it was black and gold, I never watched it.
See,
Even with the 2.0, I never watched.
no.
I rarely watched it. So, like I said, to me, watching NXT is a brand new thing, just because like I had no interest in watching developmental. That's how I felt about it. It was like, this is developmental. It's not going to be as good as I think it's going to be.
The whole 2.0 thing. Ugh. God. I don't know if you saw the color scheme back then. If you haven't, a quick Google will show you. It looked like a Nickelodeon kids TV show. Just like, and oh no, the first season when it was a game show, I thought something different. But when they did that for 4 or 5 seasons, it got boring fast. We had a debut all the way from TNA that I thought was Tatum Paxley. I thought that's Tatum Paxley. It wasn't. It was Rosemary making a WWE debut, which is super cool. So you've had Rosemary, Kalani, John and Grace, Joe Hendry, the Rascals. You never know who's turning up on an NXT. Lost to Kalani Jordan. Okay, your thoughts of Rosemary's WWE debut?
That was so cool. That was amazing. Now, mind you, like Rosemary is one of those characters from TNA that when you see her, you're like, damn, she do look low key scary. And I loved her work with Decay, so that was awesome too. With Crazy Steve and Abyss, that was an awesome stable. So seeing her on NXT was dope. It was like, I love their collaboration. I love the collaboration between TNA and NXT. It's so cool. So I did like the match, but the most exciting thing about it was literally Rosemary debuting.
And I'm still waiting for the debut of Moose, but two faces you've probably never seen before: Brooks Jensen, Idris Enofe. Brooks Jensen defeated Idris. Idris Enofe and Millie Blade, his tag team partner, had a nice push in NXT. Now, not so much. Just they're losing everywhere. Yeah, okay. Nice win for Brooks. Your thoughts?
No.
Your thoughts? None. Okay, then Joe Coffey, you're probably not aware of.
I know a little bit about Joe Coffey. I mean, from what I've seen on NXT, I know a little bit about Joe Coffey.
Went over Javon Evans, much needed win for Joe. Gallus have really been lost in the shuffle. I'll talk more of that when we get to level up here shortly. Yeah, your thought, is that your first time watching Javon? If so, your thoughts on him?
No, I've seen the match I've seen Javon in a tag team match with Trick. So I've seen Javon before. That was actually my second time seeing Joe Coffey in a match. I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with I think. That's the second time I've seen Joe Coffey in a match. Much needed win, though, for Joe Coffey because Gallus, like you said, has been kind of getting lost in the shuffle. They had that small little feud with the person that we all believe in. So, yeah. I mean, they're the third Scottish attraction in WWE behind McIntyre and the person that we all believe in. So,
and for people that train The Rock, Gallus trained The Rock to get him ready for his Mania match. You would think they'd be getting a bigger push. You think he'd call for them to be getting a bigger push, but no, he doesn't care. He probably does care, but what can he do? Shawn Michaels runs NXT, so. And to close out NXT, it was yet another Joe Hendry, say his name, he appears. Good pause. Joe Hendry concert. Ethan Page came out. The fans. I like that Ethan Page doesn't allow. Like Dominic does, he allows the fans to boo him. Ethan just spoke through them. Ava came out. You now have Trick Williams as your special guest referee for tomorrow at No Mercy. I think that's how they protect Joe. As much as it'd be cool to see Joe winning, it'd be a shocker, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see my thoughts tomorrow on tomorrow at No Mercy. But your thoughts on the closing of this week's NXT?
Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. That shit is so funny. Oh my God. Joe Hendry is so talented musically because that song is so fucking hilarious. That was hilarious, yo. I gotta say it one more time. Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. Like, what? Why? But also, Ethan, put on some clothes. Good hype up to the match. Having Trick as the special guest referee is pretty cool. Pete Dunne in the back saying some shit, pretty much trying to make sure that Trick doesn't make it as the special guest referee. It was good to see Ava, coming out there and throwing her weight around because Ethan has a thing against the referees right now. But listen. Joe Hendry is one of the most over superstars, not just in NXT, not just in TNA, but just in the world. So it's pretty sick to see the reaction he gets every time he comes out, every time he makes an appearance on NXT. And this helps his TNA stuff as well. So it's actually pretty cool.
TNA emergence was earlier on, wasn't it? I don't know if Wesley turned up to cost Zachary, but they could have done that. I don't know if they did or not, but they could have done that. They probably didn't. Good NXT. Got me hyped for No Mercy tomorrow. I'll rate it as a very strong silver. Your rating?
I'm going to give it a gold minus.
We'll quickly speed through this match. So Pete Dunne to take with another win against Javon Evans. And I did put it in the group chat. But did you see how many views this match got on X, Twitter?
No.
6.3 million. Like, what?
That's crazy.
So Javon Evans is a draw. Like, wow. 6.3 million. Wow.
That's insane.
I like that Pete Dunne won, so I'll say a silver double helping of speed. So Andrade return against Pete Dunne. I would have had Pete Dunne win, but okay. For that, I'll say a bronze just because Pete Dunne lost. But did you make notes for your show, the Blue Brand, the Rock Show, Smacky D's, or not?
I did not because I didn't see it, but I do have the results of Smacky D's on my phone. Sadly, the notes that I usually give aren't available this week, but I do have just the results from via Bleacher Report, so I'm taking it from them. LA Knight defeated Ludwig Kaiser. Your thoughts on LA Knight defeating Ludwig Kaiser?
Well, first of all, Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, Michael Cole on commentary. That's nothing, nothing newsworthy, no breaking news here, just cool. Kaiser got of course, it's in Berlin, it's his home country. He got a great fan reaction. But he's on Raw. He's on Raw, so of course he wasn't winning the US title. But Ludwig is getting a push, so it's a good win for Knight. Again, I will say that Knight's improved. He had a good match last week. he had a good match this week. I know you didn't watch it, but your thoughts just on the results.
Sure. I mean, obviously, LA Knight should be retaining his title. Give him someone that's actually on Smacky D's, because Ludwig Kaiser is technically a Raw superstar, but he's, like you said, he's in Berlin because the Raw brand is also there because the PLE that happened today. So yeah, it's cool. Also, I had yay for Michael Cole, my man. My man's back on his home show. For those of you that don't know, Michael Cole debuted at the commentary desk on Smacky D's back in good old 1998, I believe, either 98 or 99. But that was that was the show that he was on. He was on that show, and his color commentator was Taz. Yeah.
So how many years is that? We're in 2024.
So
my math is awful.
25 years. 25 or 26 years.
Wow.
Yep. So before that, Michael Cole was a backstage guy. He would do backstage interviews on Raw. So at the time, Michael Cole would work Raw and SmackDown, but when he was doing Raw shows, he'd be backstage commentary. And
with the Rock.
Well, with anybody. Yeah, put the t-shirt over his face.
So humiliating. You couldn't do that today. There'd be complaints everywhere.
No, you can still do that. Fucking what the people saying. But
hold my t-shirt. Hold his.
I mean, Michael Cole was made fun of a lot. He was made fun of back in the day, but he became the lead man for SmackDown. So it's cool. I'm happy to know that we're going to have Michael Cole back on everybody's show, the people's show, Smacky D's.
Okay. And
the next,
I think just very quickly on Michael Cole, I think it's much better he can be himself now. So when you are the Vince telling him what to say, but now I think Triple H just says, call the match, however you want to call it. So.
You're talented. You're on a Mount Rushmore of commentators. Do your damn job. That's it. So the next match, according to Bleacher Report, I'm just getting this from Bleacher, Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin faced off against the tag team in Fantasma, Angel and Berto. Mm-hmm. And Angel and Berto won the match. Yeah, that makes sense because they're a little bit more over than Crews and Corbin, the Baldies.
I still would have had Crews and Corbin win because why not? This was just a random thrown together match, I suppose.
Not really. If you remember from the SmackDown last week, the Baldies had something to say to Escobar about after he lost the match, the U.S. title match. And so that's how they kind of got into it. So it wasn't really that random. It's more so the build for it wasn't that strong.
See, Crews and Corbin haven't won a match, so they're going to have one turn on each other and then they get a win, or probably not. But
yeah, that's also just a thrown together tag team too, because Corbin's tag team partner was Braun Breaker. So they kind of just threw those two together, which is
they were good in NXT, really good. But
yes. So the next match is another Carmelo Hayes and Andrade match with Hayes getting the win. Your thoughts on that?
You missed the segment before they started getting that just match results. Nick Aldis in the ring, Cody came out, Owens came out. Hype the match today. Yeah.
Okay.
Good win for Carmelo. Again, why couldn't they have added their fifth match that they're probably going to have at Bash at Berlin? Even if that was on the pre-show, they could have done it.
I think what you try not to do is overbook a glorified house show. Right? So, because you mentioned earlier about AEW's booking, right? Some of these matches don't deserve to be on a house show card. They just don't. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, there's certain matches that you book for a PLE or a glorified house show. That's not one of them. That you don't book that. Like you don't want to oversaturate your card, right? Because you say the same thing about AEW. They oversaturate their card. You don't want to oversaturate your card. You just don't want to do that.
True. I think on NXT you have 6 matches. I think that's a nice number to have. They all make sense, and not just let's have this match because they all make sense. They're all like tomorrow. They're all, 5 out of 6 are all championship matches. So yeah.
You also have to look at it like this, though, right? You don't want to oversaturate it. You don't want to overbook it. And NXT, for us watching it on TV, there's also commercial breaks, right? Which means that there's probably a dark match going on, right? For the people that's there in Florida watching NXT, it's probably a dark match going on. So it gives us time to take a breather, to catch our breath from watching wrestling. Like, a commercial break, a quick little bathroom break, you know what I mean? Versus it's constantly roughing around like this. I mean, hell, they even got video packages in between matches to help alleviate constant movement of matches and stuff. So, and they do the little picture-in-picture thing, which is an idea they actually stole from AEW.
They don't do that on the network, but okay.
Well, no, I'm talking about just when you watch NXT on TV. They have the picture-in-picture thing, and even during those time periods, that's the time period to go to the bathroom. So they give you time to like relax versus like constant flow of matches, just running. So, yeah, but you don't want to overbook a show. So
yeah, very, very quickly, because you don't want to be worn out after watching wrestling on TV and think, oh, wow. And think to be a drain, like, I need to lie down. No.
Yeah, no,
that's what AEW.
You shouldn't feel that way.
That's what AEW leaves me with, like, good show, but wow, I feel worn out.
So the next thing was Nia Jax versus Mia Yim. Mi Chen, sorry. Mi Chen, Mia Yim, same difference. Jax won. I don't know much more about that, but yeah.
Street fight for the title. Tiffy time. Tiffany attempted a cash in. Both Nia and Michin were down. She came running. Very well timed. I like that WWE is very well thought out, all very well timed. Comes running down, gonna cash in. Nia's laid out. She looks down, and Nia's like, "No, you're not cashing in today." And then Nia goes on to win. So yeah, cool that Michin was in the main event. Cool that she got the title shot. Yeah, okay, no complaints at all, I'll say. What are your thoughts about that?
No complaints here either. That's cool. Yeah, I'm mad because I missed it. So like my notes aren't as precise as they usually are. So I do apologize to the people for that, as well as to you for not having precise notes.
It was very filler, so you didn't read it. So
yeah, Bleacher Report gave the show overall a B+. I don't want to grade it because I'm only hearing the results. I didn't get to experience it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But what do you grade the people's show?
Before I agree my grade, I say this every single time: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW should never be filler. Because certainly with WWE, fans might hear this here. Oh, it's a pay-per-view. I'll check out SmackDown, and that's the SmackDown they get. Won't keep me watching, but if I was to flicking through the channels, oh, SmackDown's on, and this is what I'm getting. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, rating. Silver minus. It did its job. The women's match was good, and Carmelo Andrade was good. LA Knight, Ludwig Kaiser was good. So very quickly before we delve into the pay-per-view, there's 2 matches on Level Up. Wolfgang knocked off Cutler James, and Hank and Tank went over Cale Dixon, Uriah Connors. Silver, I like the Hank and Tank continue to be fun. So let's get into Bash in Berlin, kicking off with everybody's favourite Cody Rhodes, taking on Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. Good match. Cody, WWE very clever by who they put in the ring with Cody. Logan, Styles, Owens, people that know that he's going to get a good match out of. So they're very clever in that way. Owens didn't pull the trigger. He could have swiped the knee. He could have done the pop-up, the power bomb on the ring apron. On the ring apron. Didn't. Cost him. Cody Rhodes still champion. No heel turn from Owens, so let's assume that from SmackDown. Who do we get against Cody at Bad Blood? And if you, I'll give my thoughts further. If you do Owens again, so okay, Owens lost this time, but he's going to win at Bad Blood. If you do Solo again, Reigns is coming in to stop Solo again. Boy, Cody has so much help. And that's the only two. Sorry. That's the only. Okay. Who else have you got as a heel on SmackDown that could go after the title and you think could beat Cody? Solo is about it. Owens if he turns heel. That's it. All right.
Yeah, booking for the champion is hard right now. It's so tough because if you're trying to keep the dynamics of babyface versus heel, it's not a lot of heels on SmackDown. It's a lot of babyfaces. It's not as many heels, especially heels that are believable to be able to beat Cody. Like you said, right now, it's too soon to run back Solo versus Cody. You could run one of the other members of the bloodline against Cody. You could possibly do that, but they already have something going. They already have a program going on, so you don't want to do that. It's not a lot going on Smacky D's. It's not too many people that you can look at and be like, all right, they're a legit threat to possibly beating Cody on Smacky D's. So it's a little difficult to book for that championship. It honestly is. Not unless someone from Raw does what Randy just did, which is like go over to SmackDown and be like, hey, I want to challenge you. But yeah, it's tough sledding right now for booking for Cody.
And a few things I just want to go over there. Something might have happened on I'm going to call it press conference here, to call it the post show. I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it later. Something might have happened where we now get a match at Bad Blood. Probably not. Cody probably did his interview when he does, and that's it. Probably that's probably all that happened. If you do Cody, let's say, versus Jacob Fatu, I know Bad Blood's a B-level pay-per-view, but damn, no. That might seem... okay, Drew Punk's for your main event team, but... no. And kind of not spoiling the main event here, but the Viper, if he goes after Cody... Okay, well... that's another loss, and Orton's not once since returning. He lost ever since returning. So now Orton's become a glorified jobber. Okay. A match you did see for the women's tag team titles, and this could easily be on your main event for SmackDown. I wouldn't say, oh no, stick it on pay-per-view. I know I give AEW a hard time. All the matches on their card are TV matches. This is a TV match right here. Unholy Union taking on Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. Unholy Union lost, so they won because it was Scotland. Blair Davenport is now paired with losers. How does that make sense? That does nothing for Blair Davenport and making her. She's not a star and never gonna be. She's not gonna be one of those names you ask any person in a wrestling, they're gonna go, oh yeah, Blair Davenport. Never. Been helping her to build to make a star. Anyway, your thoughts on the new champions?
This was a match you can miss. Sadly, Alba Fire and Dawn, they just weren't strong champions. Because we're also talking about a women's tag division that is pretty stacked, to be honest with you. And honestly, out of all the people that's in that division, they're among the weaker ones, to be honest with you. And I could be also saying that because of my lack of knowledge about who they are, but they aren't really getting over with the fans either on SmackDown, especially when we talk about Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, who are who are quite over with the fans. Yeah, the right decision was made. Cargill and Bianca Belair have the tag team titles again. Cargill is ever improving in the ring. She keeps on improving, and I love the fact that she's tagged up with someone that's as experienced as Bianca is, which is really good because Bianca could help her through. And by the way, they both also were college athletes. Bianca Belair did track and field at the University of Tennessee. And Jade Cargill, though I don't know where she went to college, she played basketball. So it's pretty cool, once again, seeing WWE help people with transitions, even though Jade Cargill, technically, she only had a tryout with WWE before she made her name in AEW and then came over to WWE.
And I think there's some stats on Facebook. She's now been in 100 matches in WWE, which is insane. Obviously, most of those are house shows, but yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Strap match saw CM Punk getting his bracelet back. Good match, defeating Drew McIntyre. Good match. Yeah, really good. At the ending, the four go to sleep. So I've got my bracelet back, but I'm now going to hit your four go to sleep, so you can't take it back. And I don't know. And the thing of CM, Drew had Punk on his shoulders, and Drew touched one, and then Punk touched one, and then as it came to the fourth, Drew realized what was going on. That was good. Yeah, good match here. CM Punk had been treated very well in WWE, only wrestling on the pay-per-views. I know he did a house show last year before he got injured, poor Punk. But yeah, good match. And Marcus is on the move.
I gotta get the charger from my computer. But no, I agree. Really good match. It was actually a really good match. Like, as a person that is not a big fan of Phillip, I can tell you that was a really, really good match. It gave everything it needed to. I mean, for those of you that never seen a strap match, I mean, where have you been, for real? Because strap matches have always been really good matches. It's a great way of blowing off a feud, even though I don't think this feud is over yet.
Yeah, third match.
But I always like strap matches. Strap matches are a lot of fun. It's hardcore without being hardcore, right? You don't have to be too damn hardcore to do a strap match. So it's an incredible match type. I'm happy to see that it was done, and 4 GTSs. I think it was 4 or 5 GTSs done to make sure that Drew wasn't getting the hell up. So it was an incredible match, though. I really enjoyed it.
I was very interested to see why the third match is needed. Is it now Drew's going to say, I was distracted by the bracelet? It's all been about a 50 cent or 50 pence, so you're in the UK, 50 pence bracelet, which is insane, but it's worked.
Yeah, it has.
The Turret wins in mixed tag team action. Rhea Ripley super over with the crowd. They loved her. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest taking on Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. Interference from the Judgment Day. Priest, Rhea, Wayne continuing their push. So you're probably getting Liv, Rhea at Bad Blood. Let's not do Hell in a Cell. Let's just do one Hell in a Cell match, and that's Punk versus Drew. Yeah, good match. I liked that Rhea tried to take out Dominic. That was good. Your thoughts?
Of course, I love anything that involves the Judgment Day. Love the match. Really good match. The dynamics played right. Judgment Day's interference. Though the winners, obviously I didn't want them to win. But it was still a really good match. The double Razor's Edge. That was sick. A good overall match. Everybody worked super well. So it was dope. And we got to see our future Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dom, in action. So that was crazy.
No, if they have... No, Dominic and Braun are both heel, and...
I know.
And that's just me, those fantasy booking, but Dominic's probably going to win, even though it should be Jay. Do you do Jay, Braun at Bad Blood? Anyway, that's Bad Blood, that's next month. Your main event of Bash at Berlin, Randy Orton, Gunther for the Men's World Heavyweight Championship. Fantastic match. The fans always love Orton. The wave, Mexican wave, call it what you like. That was cool. Orton got a really good match out of Gunther. Gunther can go the distance. And a decisive victory, even though Orton probably pinned Orton. Orton who passed out with the sleeper hold and still World Heavyweight Champion. Probably for the next 20 years. Gunther, your thoughts?
20 years. It was a classic match. So I don't know if you remember this match from the pandemic. Do you remember when Edge and Orton had the world's greatest wrestling match?
Yeah.
Right? So this was that, but better. Gunther can go, right? As I stated before with Daniel Bryan and Swerve, Gunther can also go for a long time in the ring. He's amazing what he does. And The Miz and Big E mentioned this a little bit after the match was over. A lot of people say that the style that Gunther works doesn't work. It doesn't keep fans involved in it. You be dead wrong by saying that, right? It was a pure wrestling match. Like mat skills, the ring general, right, has mat skills. Not a lot of wrestlers can say they have mat skills, right? Like I said, Swerve can say that. Daniel Bryan can say that. Cesaro has mat skills. It's not a lot of people, especially in WWE, that have mat skills. I think Gunther might be the only one really that has really good mat skills. There's not a lot of mat skill wrestlers anymore, which is also why Randy Orton shook his hand. Because it's not that Randy Orton's a jobber. Because saying jobber or someone's a glorified jobber is messed up. Because Randy Orton's not on the Brooklyn Brawlers level, right? Like they're not on the same level, right?
Okay, true. Yeah.
Right. He's not on that level. He's not on Two Cold Scorpios level when he was in WWE. It's not that. It's more so sometimes you have to put over younger talent, right? What Randy did today was serviceable. He put on an amazing performance. Amazing performance. There's a reason why Randall Keith is a 14-time world champion, right? Like I said before, he is the last of the 2004 class that is fully in the ring. The dude's a legend, right? And at the point in junction in his career, by the way, Randy Orton is absolutely stacked. That's my body goals for when I start going back to the gym. Seriously, no, that's my body goals because I feel like when I look at Randy Orton's body and I look at my body, I'm like, I could get that. I could get to where he's at.
290 of pure muscle.
I don't know about being 290 though, but like, no. Well, if you look at him, not to be talking about people's bodies, folks, body positive here, but also like, if I'm going to the gym, I want Randy Orton's body because it's not that he has body fat on him, but is shredded, is slimmed down, right? He has a bit of a beer belly, but is a beer belly with some packs in it. I want that. I want the Randy Orton body. I don't need the flat stomach. I want the Randy Orton body right there. That dude is built like a silverback. Dude is going, and he don't get blown up easy. He had a really good match, and what he's doing is what others did for him. Think about Mick Foley for a second, right? Mick Foley helped establish Randy Orton as a viable wrestler, as a person that can go. Mick Foley also did the same thing for Triple H. There's always going to be a veteran, a grizzled veteran, whose job is to help put you over. What Randy did today is he helped establish Gunther as the future, right? And not saying that Gunther needed the rub. He ain't need that kind of help. But when you face off against someone like Randy Orton, who was a legit threat to your championship, to any championship, to be honest with you, any match that Randy Orton's in, you have to believe that Randy can come out with the dub. And this match was so good. And yet, one of the most basic moves in wrestling defeated Randy Orton. It showed that Gunther is an actual threat because for real, what is Gunther's finishing move? We don't fucking know.
Power bombing to the sleeper hold, I suppose.
I guess, but still. We still don't really know what his finisher is. The dude just wrestles, and that's awesome.
So, I know you didn't watch the first match, but you did watch the 4
I watched the rest of it, yep.
So your rating for Bash in Berlin?
Gold.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. So I'm going to play one more ad here, as my dog is now chewing all its toys. Damn it. I'll clear those in a second. I'll play I'll play an ad, and yeah, let me play this.
To never miss a second, never miss an upload, never miss anything I do, and never miss when I go live doing Watch Voices and my brand new podcast live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. The Reigning Rock Podcast. Add me on Facebook, Ricky J. Pete. Whilst there, search on Facebook, WWA World Wrestling Alliance. Follow me on X at Ricky Goldmans. Head over to Pro Wrestling Tees and search Goldmans1 and head over to my YouTube channel. Search, like, and subscribe to the People's Wrestling Channel. That once again, the People's Wrestling Channel.
That is right. Amy, like, subscribe, all of that. And I know that it says Wednesdays, but it is weekends. So
you gotta retake that, man.
But that means you would have to retape all the rest, so we'll see.
Hey, man, that's a project for you.
So next week's the podcast will be Sunday, obviously because of All Out. So I'm doing a wrestling show on next Saturday and All Out. Ugh. Another bloody pay-per-view, the damn pay-per-view. There's so many. But let me play this because I will get Marcus's predictions on No Mercy. But let me play this. So yeah, it's a good card. We said all matches set for one championship matches all make sense. I don't know if there's any real thrown together match. Most of the matches you can easily see on a random NXT, but there we are. So, Brothers No More, Best Friends No More. Wesley takes on Zachary Wentz. Who have you got in this one?
Lee.
I think is probably pay-per-view worthy. For the NXT Tag Team titles, they've only just won them, but they're putting the titles on the line again. Chase U takes on Nathan Fraser and Axiom. New champions, or do the champions retain?
Chase U.
Kaylani Jordan takes on Pillow Girl, as you call her, Wendy Chu. For the Women's North American Championship. Your pick for this one?
I would like to see the Pillow Girl getting it.
The man himself, the ruler of NXT, Obafemi, defends against Tony D'Angelo for the Men's North American Championship. Is it Obafemi's time to lose, or does he retain also?
Man, it's the ruler. We can only keep it on Mr. Oba.
Another women's match for the NXT Women's Championship. Jada Parker would love to see her win, but we'll see. Takes on Roxanne Perez. Do we see a new champion here?
I want to see a new champion. I'm going for Miss Parker.
And I've got a feeling, like I said, whoever she was talking to behind the camera debuts either after the match or on NXT, and that's probably who Roxanne will lose to at Halloween Havoc next month. No, it's only October. End of October. Anyway, Ethan Page, Joe Hendry, Trick Women's Edge special guest referee for the Men's NXT Championship. Does Joe Hendry to win the title and take it to TNA, or does Ethan Page firmly keep it in his possession?
Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. I got the person that we all believe in. I got Joe Hendry winning the title. He's not going to take. He's going to bring it back and forth. He's not taking it to TNA. He's going to bring it back and forth. That's all.
I just can't see WWE putting another company over, because if you got to think, all the TNA people, Jordan Grace won on NXT, but whoopie-doo, she beat Stevie Turner. Woo!
I mean,
she lost against Roxanne.
You're putting your product over. You know what I mean? So
Rosemary lost, Rascals lost. We'll see, but
third time's a charm.
Then is Dolph? Is Dolph healing TNA, or do you not know?
I do not know, but I think he's babyface.
I was going to say you could do Dolph, Joe, maybe. Anyway, closing out here, we've got a few little bits to talk about, and it is this right here. News and headlines, and this seems to be weekly now. Unfortunately, another wrestler has died. You want to talk about ruler? We'll talk about the ruler of the world, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, call him what you like, passing away at the age of 63. No, that's really no age at all nowadays. My memories of Sid, who I see promo week. Was it in WCW? I'm half the man so I can't remember fully what it was.
You're half the man that I am, and I have half the brand that you do.
And then Nash and Scar looked at him like, what did he just say?
Yeah, they was like, what? And he was like, wait, no.
And I think there's another promo he does where they go, no, we're live, and he's like,
yeah.
And he's saying another
yeah. Can I do that? Can I do that over? No, we're live, pal.
We're live, pal. And he wasn't the best at promos. It wasn't like who? I can't think. The Rock on the microphone. He was pretty lousy. But your thoughts on Sid Vicious? Your thoughts, your memories of Sid Vicious. Sorry.
So. One thing that I remember hearing in interviews about Sid Vicious, that man loved himself some softball. He would legit no show an event if he could play softball. He loved himself some softball. One of my favorite memories of Sid Vicious, and this is thanks to the WWE Network. This is before they moved to Peacock. I did this thing in which I had started watching. I would do this thing, and I know. I'm standing on a soapbox, but I'm getting to a Sid Vicious memory. I would begin at 1993. So I would watch ECW, WCW, and WWE because in 93, that's when Raw premiered. And so I would watch, watching all the pay-per-views, watching every single Raw, etc. I think the year was 96. I don't remember, but it was a pay-per-view where Sid Vicious beat Shawn Michaels for the title. And I remember how over Sid was. I mean, first of all, his theme song sounds scary as hell, by the way, for those of you that never heard it before. And he's the master and the ruler of the world. I still remember when he had the undefeated streak that he had in WCW where he was trying to beat Goldberg's. I remember him jumping off the top rope and him breaking his leg, and it's such a nasty.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that when you watch, you're like, no. Which lets you know that Sid Vicious should never go on the top rope ever.
That must be in a lot of pain. Just imagine how it feels when you stub your
toe. I don't know. I don't want to imagine nothing because every time I look at that, every time I think about that image, it's like
when you stub your toe in a corner, it's like, oh, my foot's broken. It isn't, but it feels like it.
Yo,
he snapped his ankle. He just snapped like it
was so bad. I was like, but Sid Vicious, though not the best on the mic, the dude can go in the ring. He had one of the best bodies, one of the best physiques in wrestling. Right? He was jacked, but not overly jacked, right? In the time period when we were talking about wrestlers that was on steroids and whatnot, Sid had the look of a star. And this is why promotions had no problem throwing their world titles onto the master and the ruler of the world.
I remember, it was also part of the greatest debut that's ever been. The Shockmaster.
Oh, God. When Tugboat tripped over whatever the hell he tripped over. That was terrible.
Just awful from beginning to end because he tripped over, it was like a wooden panel. He tripped over that. He couldn't see the mask came off that he couldn't see out of anywhere. And the voice clearly wasn't him. It's just crazy. Awful from beginning to end. Do you think that Sid goes into the Hall of Fame? They say posthumous, don't they? That means he's died. So do you think he goes in the Hall of Fame next year?
Absolutely. He should have been in the Hall of Fame, man. But this is Triple H's reign as the person that runs WWE. So he's gonna right a lot of wrongs, I feel like. And Sid not being in the Hall of Fame, that's something he's gonna right.
Well, I think this year The Rock got a lot of say in the Hall of Fame, but obviously he was positive. Does he have to run that by Triple H? Triple H's boss, so probably not. But
no, Triple H probably don't have to run that by Dwayne.
No, The Rock. The Rock's gonna have to go to Triple H and say, "Can I put whoever in?" He can do what he likes. The Rock's the boss.
Well, he'll probably look at Triple H and be like, because mind you, Triple H has a better mind for the business than The Rock does. The Rock has never been on this side of the table for writing the show or doing all the things that involve WWE the way it does. He has stake in TKO, but he doesn't call no shots as far as like what happens with WWE. He calls shots for TKO. That's different. Like he's not he can't book a match. He's not going to book a match. He's not going to book a show.
I suppose you imagine if he wanted to come in and just say, "You're not doing that," and the Raw's going to be all about me. Who's going to say?
Triple H would tell him. Triple H, yeah, he could. Triple H could be like, "That's a stupid fucking idea." That's
but The Rock doesn't have to listen. The Rock will go, "Okay."
And people aren't going to watch the show because it's going to be shit.
Which The Rock wouldn't do, but I'm saying he could, if he wanted to, come in and say, "You've got Uncle Heidi and Chad Gable as a main event. Not anymore, I am." Yeah. For example. The Rock wouldn't do that because The Rock doesn't care about Uncle Heidi and Chad Gable. He cares about the bigger picture, and Uncle Heidi and Chad Gable isn't making any money. Anyway, the Performance Center moving from Orlando, going to Las Vegas. Cool. Does NXT now have to move because that's where NXT is, at the Performance Center? So, your thoughts on the move?
I don't know. Well, NXT is moving. Is that what you just said?
No, the Performance Center is moving, but NXT is at the Performance Center. They call the Capital Wrestling Center, whatever they call now. But it's a Performance Center.
So the Performance Center is moving to Las Vegas. Okay, cool. I guess it's cool. I don't understand the point of doing that though. But cool.
Fair enough. For the first time ever this year, WWE Raw in Saudi. So they're getting SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Raw taped on the Sunday, be live, so the pre-tape. So I won't be reading the spoilers, even though there'll be spoilers galore. I won't be reading them. But yes, again in a Raw. So that's cool for them.
That's what money. Listen, if you the Saudi prince and you got the money, you can buy wherever the hell you want. So they got Smacky D's Raw and Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I think that Tony Khan, somebody like The Rock is rich, and he is. He's worth $800 million. I think the Crown Prince of whatever he is, in Saudi, he's probably worth billions. Mm-hmm. And speaking of a billionaire, our favorite billionaire, Vince McMahon, will have the final of this series is coming out on Netflix next month. It will be more than a must watch. Where do they start with Vince? Obviously, they're going to start at the beginning, but surely they probably won't be talking about his personal life, but just his business. But certainly a must watch. I will be watching it. I think it's the 25th date. It's the 25th. It's the first episode. So yeah, your thoughts on will you be watching?
Well, I won't be watching because I don't have Netflix. Not unless someone illegally films it, videos it and puts it on YouTube. That's the only way I'll be watching it. But this will be, and I've read a book about the death of the Territory Days and his business acumen and what he did to get all the contracts and shut other promotions down and buy out their wrestlers and do other things. So I'm actually, if I could find a place to watch it, of course I want to watch it. But this is cool. People get to see Vince's business acumen. The dude's a genius as far as business goes. He's just a shady character as a person. I hope Tony Khan's fucking watching this fucking shit so he could get some fucking notes on how to do this shit, because it seemed like he don't get it. But it should be a good watch. I'm actually low key excited for this thing to come out.
So it probably will be uploaded to use either played like you say, a legal stream put on YouTube. Somebody will put it on you, or that website I've sent you that I watch NXT on there, or when it's on the network now. Okay, I used to watch NXT on there. The biography series when they do that, Rivals when they do that. What's the other one? Most Wanted Treasures when they do that. But Tony Khan is a mark, and he wants to be everybody's friend and not a boss. Vince cared about money and being a boss, and there was a very clear line: I'm your boss, not your friend. Yes, he had friends in WWE, Undertaker, Cena, Reigns, so on, The Rock. But he was more a boss, and that was the line. No, I'm not just walk all over me because I'm a mark for the business. No, he was a mark for money. So Tony Khan will take notes and do nothing with them. And very quickly, speaking of McMahon and Tony Khan, will close out with on it looks like Shane McMahon may be on his way to AEW because John Moxley said to Tony Schiavone on Dynamite, this isn't it wasn't his company to begin with, but this is not your company anymore. So people are thinking Shane's coming in. That can't book. If you remember, he booked the Rumble. Was it last year's Rumble he booked? And that was horrendous. No, was it last? No. Reigns. It might have been like, it was either last year or the year before. He booked the Rumble. He was like a mess. And you could tell that it was a mess. And so he can't book, or he'll come in and do some crazy stunt with Darby Allin and kill himself. So. But your quick thoughts on if it is Shane McMahon coming into AEW, your thoughts?
He might be coming in as a consultant, so someone that can help the brand, not booking wise, but more business wise. Because it seems like AEW might need some help business wise, not just booking wise, but business wise. And I mean, what better person to get than the McMahon? Like, let's be real here. The McMahon family are the kings and queens of wrestling business. They're all super brilliant, super smart in wrestling business. Shane doesn't have to be a great booker. That's what writing teams are for, right? That's what you have writers for, to help book the show. But Shane has a wrestling business mindset that is quite unmatched, especially being Vince's son. Seeing how his dad ran business, he could probably give Tony Khan some tips on how to conduct business better versus how TK has been conducting business. I mean, the fact that AEW is still on TV, it means that they're successful somewhere, right? Because there was a point in time that TNT hated wrestling on TV. They hated wrestling. They hated putting wrestling on their product. And the fact that TNT and TBS still have AEW to this day tells you at least that AEW has some sort of success. But I know with TK meeting with Shane, he's probably like, I need to learn some stuff from a McMahon.
A few final thoughts here. They lost 200 million last year. That doesn't sound like a success to me at all. That sounds like a dire sinking ship. 200 million? Even to the Khan, the billionaire Khans, that is still a lot of money. If Shane is seen on TV, I'd be very interested. Did they call him a McMahon? Like, we all know
Yeah,
who he
that's
is.
his last name. That's his last name.
But you can't call him McMahon without going into his history. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just go, oh, look, here comes Shane McMahon, and that's it. And like I've said, Tony Khan has got to stop being a mark and also get away from the hardcore wrestling aspect. And then he might see a bigger threat.
Why you keep thinking it's hardcore wrestling? It's not.
But there's blood all over the match and thumbtacks and fire and
blood don't equal hardcore. So and that's not even all. That's not even every single match. You're getting ECW confused with AEW. ECW was that way. AEW, not every match is hardcore, man.
No, but okay. But all in, three of them were on the main card. Like, okay. You had a ladder match, you had a coffee match, you had a whatever an FTW rules match is.
You gotta add stipulations to matches on pay-per-views or PLEs. You have to. That's how you create, more drama. That's how you give the people their money's worth. I mean, think about what we watched today. The closing match for Bash at Berlin involves steps and tables.
Yeah. I'm not saying zero weapons never in wrestling. I'm just saying AEW has come to the place of, yeah, you expect it to happen. It doesn't come as a shock. Like, they've got weapons involved. Yeah, I knew they would.
I mean, you're going to. I mean, you want more people to watch your product. You gotta give people their money's worth.
Well, where's that money going? Like I said, when they've lost $200 million,
trying to get the money back.
Even to the billionaire, whatever, how much money Tony Khan's founders got, that $200 million is still a lot of money to anybody. So. Anyway, we're going to close out here. Do join me tomorrow for No Mercy predictions, watch along, and reactions. The fourth and final time this week. That's right, 4 times you're getting it. I know you're all lucky. I can hear you. Yes. I know you're saying it. You don't need to tell me. I know that you're lucky. But Marcus is going to close out with his catchphrase, and it is...
Ching, ching, bling, bling is always money over here. Also, R.I.P. to Fat Man Scoop, what a legend in hip hop.
Yeah, what was his song? Yeah, I remember one of his songs.
He has a couple songs, but there's a song called Drop. That's one of his hit singles.
I think God, I'll very, very quickly, if I can, YouTube it now, but I think he's got a big famous song. Give me 1 second.
This is a Fat Man Scoop song.
Is it this one? We're gonna get done for copyright here, but oh god, ads everywhere. Okay, let me play the ad and then let me play this song quickly. Is it this?
Yeah.
That one, Be Faithful, yeah. That's probably his most famous song, I think, but if it's not 50 cents, then delete. Whatever.
You gotta learn some more hip hop, dude.
So, if wrestling is the game, excellence is the name, and I am Ricky Gulman. We will see you next week for the Reigning Rock podcast. Hopefully TJ can come back from his Festival of Friendship and tell it about all his adventures with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, acknowledge, and electrify. See you guys next week, but I will see you tomorrow for No Mercy predictions and watch along. We'll see you guys, and play the outro, and good night. Oh, still live, still live. Oh dear. Right, you guys aren't meant to be seeing this. So